Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a moment and look within yourselves, not at what the world tells you to be, not at the shadows of doubt that whisper in your ear, but at the radiant soul that lives quietly inside you. That soul, that spark, holds a power so profound that it can shape your life in ways you have only dared to dream. That power is confidence, the quiet fire that rises when you believe in your worth, your voice, and your dreams. Confidence is not loud, it is not boastful. It is the gentle, unwavering strength that moves mountains, opens doors, and transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary triumphs. Today, I invite you to journey with me, to awaken that confidence within, and to see how embracing it can change the very path of your life. Confidence is not measured by applause, nor is it counted by the number of eyes that watch you succeed. True confidence is a quiet power. It whispers to you in the darkest hours and reminds you of the courage that has always been yours. It is the strength that rises when the world says you cannot, when the storms around you threaten to topple your spirit, and yet you stand tall. It is knowing that even in your vulnerability, even when mistakes are made and failures arrive, you possess the power to rise, to step forward, and to claim your place in the sun. When we embrace confidence, we unlock doors that fear had always kept shut. That quiet power speaks louder than doubt, reshaping not just the path we walk, but the very steps we take. Confidence allows you to speak your truth without hesitation, to share your ideas without apology, and to live your life without the chains of insecurity. It gives voice to dreams that have been silenced, and it lights the way for others to see what is possible. For when you stand in your confidence, you do not walk alone. Your courage becomes a lantern for others who are still searching for their own. Confidence is not instant, nor is it inherited. It is nurtured in the soil of self-love and watered by the lessons of experience. Each small victory, each brave step forward cultivates it. When you stumble, when doubt seeps in, remember that confidence grows not in perfection, but in persistence. It grows in every time you rise after a fall, in every choice to face fear instead of fleeing, and in every quiet declaration to yourself that you are enough. The world may question you, challenge you, or try to diminish your light, but your confidence is yours alone. It is sacred, it is unshakable, and it is the key to transforming your life. So I urge you, do not wait for the world to hand you validation. Do not wait for applause or acknowledgement. Let confidence bloom quietly, fiercely, and persistently within you. Stand tall in the storms, speak boldly in the silences, and move through life knowing that your quiet power is unstoppable. For when you live with confidence, you do not merely survive, you thrive. You do not merely exist, you shine. And in that shining, you inspire a world that desperately needs to see what courage looks like, what strength feels like, and what happens when a soul believes in itself. There is a power in your voice, a strength that is uniquely yours, waiting to be heard. Every word you speak carries the weight of your experiences, the light of your dreams, and the truth of your heart. Too often, we silence ourselves, thinking that what we have to say is small, insignificant, or unworthy. But I tell you, your voice matters. It is a bridge between your inner world and the life you are meant to live. When you speak with confidence, you give life to your ideas, you breathe courage into your dreams, and you shape the very destiny that waits for you. When you use your voice, you claim your place in the world. It does not matter if it trembles or falters at first. Even a whisper carries power when it is spoken with honesty. Speaking your truth is not an act of defiance, it is an act of liberation. Every time you raise your words above the noise of doubt and fear, you remind yourself and those around you that your presence has meaning. Your ideas matter, your feelings matter, and your perspective matters. Silence may feel safe, but it robs the world of the brilliance that only you can give. Confidence in your voice is born from knowing that you are worthy of being heard. It grows each time you express yourself, even when the world resists, even when your words are met with skepticism. Every story you tell, every thought you share, every dream you voice adds to a chorus that can change lives. Your voice is not just sound, it is a declaration that you exist, that you matter, and that your journey is important. By speaking, you leave footprints that others can follow, inspiration that others can grasp, and hope that others can hold. Your voice has the power to open doors, mend hearts, and challenge minds. It can lift you from fear to courage, from doubt to action, from invisibility to presence. When you speak with conviction, you shape not only your own path, but also the world around you. Confidence does not always mean perfection. It means daring to speak even when you are unsure, trusting that your words carry significance, and believing that your ideas can ignite change. So let your voice rise. Do not hide it behind hesitation or comparison. Speak with the knowledge that your voice is your own instrument of power, your instrument of change, your gift to the world. The world needs your story, your wisdom, your laughter, and even your tears. When you give life to your words, you give life to your soul, and you remind everyone around you that courage and truth begin with a single voice that refuses to be silent. Let that voice speak boldly, live fully, and transform not just your life, but the lives of all who hear it. Fear is a quiet thief that often steals the light from our lives before we even notice it. It creeps in as doubt, as hesitation, as the whisper that tells you, you cannot, you are not enough, you will fail. It is relentless in its pursuit, trying to convince you that staying small is safer than reaching for greatness. Yet fear is not stronger than you. It has no power over the soul that dares to rise, no dominion over the heart that chooses courage over comfort. The first step to true confidence is to look fear in the eye and say, I will not be controlled by you. When we confront fear, we discover a strength we never knew existed. That trembling in the chest, that hesitation in the throat, that pounding of the heart, these are not signs of weakness, but invitations to grow. Every time you face what frightens you, every time you step forward despite the uncertainty, you forge a courage that fear cannot take away. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move in spite of it. It is the quiet, steady hand that reaches out when the world says, stay back, the unyielding spirit that whispers, I am capable, I am enough. Fear often disguises itself as logic, as reason, as careful thinking. It tells you to wait, to delay, to avoid risk. But confidence does not wait. Confidence acts. It moves even when the ground feels shaky beneath your feet. It speaks even when the voice shakes. It steps even when the path is uncertain. Confronting fear is a declaration of faith in yourself, a promise to honor your dreams even when doubt surrounds you. And with each act of courage, your confidence grows, building a foundation so strong that fear eventually loses its grip. There is beauty in the struggle against fear. It teaches us resilience, patience, and the depth of our own hearts. It shows us that even when the world resists, even when obstacles loom large, we have the power to rise. Every fear we overcome is a victory, a step closer to the life we were meant to live. Confidence is born in this very confrontation, in the moments when we refuse to let fear dictate our choices, in the seconds when we choose courage over comfort, authenticity over pretense, action over hesitation. So do not run from fear. Do not deny its presence. Welcome it as a teacher, a mirror, a signal that something valuable awaits on the other side. Let it show you what matters, what you desire, and what you are capable of achieving. With each step forward, you claim your power, and the world cannot ignore it. Confidence is not a gift, it is a practice, nurtured by the bravery to face fear again and again. When you embrace this truth, when you confront fear instead of fleeing from it, you discover a life filled with possibility, strength, and unshakable self-belief. Fear loses its hold, and confidence becomes your guiding light, your companion, your path to a life transformed. Confidence is born in the quiet spaces where self-love resides. It is nurtured not by the approval of others, nor by the applause of the crowd, but by the gentle recognition that you are enough exactly as you are. Loving yourself is not vanity, it is the foundation upon which your strength is built. When you honor your own worth, you plant seeds of courage, resilience, and belief that will bloom into a confidence so deep it cannot be shaken by the opinions or judgments of the world. Self-love is the soil from which confidence grows, rich, fertile, and unwavering. To love yourself is to embrace both your brilliance and your imperfections. It is to look in the mirror and see not only the scars and mistakes, but the lessons, the victories, and the beauty that is uniquely yours. It is the recognition that your voice matters, your presence matters, and your dreams matter. When you choose to nurture yourself, to speak kindly to your own soul, and to forgive your missteps, you create a space where confidence can flourish. Every act of self-respect, every choice to honor your needs, every moment of patience with yourself becomes water for that growing seed. Self-love is not a fleeting feeling, it is a practice, a daily commitment to see yourself with the eyes of compassion and understanding. It is choosing to stand up for yourself when the world tries to diminish you. It is listening to your heart when fear tells you to stay small. It is reminding yourself that you are worthy of joy, of success, of love, and of the life you desire. Confidence that grows from self-love is unshakable because it is rooted in truth, not in comparison, not in validation from others, but in the unwavering recognition of your own value. When you cultivate self-love, you begin to live boldly. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You no longer hide your gifts to avoid envy or criticism. You walk through the world with the steady knowledge that you belong here, that your voice deserves to be heard, and that your dreams are valid. Each act of courage, each decision to honor yourself strengthens your confidence. And with confidence comes freedom. The freedom to pursue your passions, the freedom to express your authentic self, and the freedom to create a life that reflects the fullness of who you are. Remember, self-love is not selfish, it is revolutionary. It is the force that transforms doubt into courage, hesitation into action, and fear into faith. The more you nurture your soul, the more your confidence expands, touching every corner of your life. When you stand in love for yourself, you teach the world how to see you, how to respect you, and how to value your presence. Confidence, born from self-love, is not just a personal triumph, it is a gift to everyone who witnesses it. It shows that when you honor yourself, you illuminate the path for others to honor themselves too, and together we rise, bold, radiant, and unstoppable. Mistakes are not the end of the journey, they are the very stones upon which the path to confidence is built. Too often we fear failure, we shy away from trying, thinking that a misstep diminishes our worth. But each mistake is a teacher, a guide that shows us where we need to grow, and a reminder that the act of trying itself is courageous. Confidence does not mean never falling. It means learning to rise each time we stumble, each time the world knocks us down, and each time our own doubts pull at our hearts. Every mistake carries a lesson if we are willing to see it. It teaches patience when we are hurried, humility when we are proud, and resilience when we feel broken. It whispers the truth that nothing in life is wasted, that every experience, even the painful ones, shapes the strength within us. Confidence is forged in these moments of trial. The person who fears mistakes may never fully live, but the one who embraces them as stepping stones grows stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable with each challenge faced. When we rise after a fall, we claim a power that no failure can ever take from us. There is beauty in the courage it takes to stand again, to look at the world with unwavering eyes, and to continue forward with the knowledge that we are learning, evolving, and becoming our truest selves. Each stumble becomes a foundation, each setback a lesson in perseverance. Confidence does not come from perfection. It comes from the determination to keep moving, the faith to try again, and the grace to forgive ourselves for being human. Mistakes also teach us compassion toward ourselves and toward others. They remind us that we are all on a journey, that everyone has faltered, and that the measure of a person is not in never falling, but in how they rise, how they adapt, and how they carry themselves after the fall. Confidence grows not from being flawless, but from acknowledging our humanity, embracing it fully, and moving forward with courage and dignity. Each stepping stone, no matter how rough or painful, strengthens the bridge to the life we desire. So, do not fear mistakes. Welcome them as companions on your journey. Celebrate the lessons they bring, the strength they cultivate, and the clarity they offer. Every time you rise from a misstep, your confidence deepens, your spirit strengthens, and your path becomes brighter. Remember, it is in the falling and rising that greatness is born, in the trials that we discover our courage, and in the persistence to keep going that we become truly unstoppable. Mistakes are not detours, they are the stepping stones upon which your confidence walks, carrying you toward a life of resilience, empowerment, and extraordinary possibility. Confidence has a way of calling forth the world's possibilities in ways that fear never can. When you step into a room believing in your own worth, when you walk through life knowing that your presence has value, the universe begins to respond. Doors that once seemed closed creak open, windows that once seemed barred reveal themselves as gateways, and paths that once felt impossible become roads waiting to be traveled. Confidence is magnetic. It does not demand attention, but it draws opportunity, connection, and growth toward those who dare to believe in themselves. When you carry yourself with assurance, people notice, not because you boast or brag, but because your conviction radiates. There is a quiet authority in someone who knows their value, a subtle power that invites collaboration, trust, and respect. Opportunity is not always loud or obvious. Often, it arrives quietly to those who are ready to receive it. Confidence creates that readiness. It whispers to the world that you are prepared, that you are capable, and that you are deserving of the experiences, relationships, and doors that lie ahead. Believing in yourself allows you to see potential where others see limitations. It gives you the courage to raise your hand, to speak up, and to reach for things that might have felt out of reach. Confidence transforms hesitation into action, doubt into determination, and fear into momentum. When you trust in your abilities, the world responds in kind. People are drawn to your energy. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open, and opportunities arrive in forms you may not have even imagined. What fear keeps locked away, confidence sets free. Opportunity does not always come in grand, dazzling forms. Sometimes it arrives as a chance encounter, a fleeting suggestion, or a quiet opening that requires you to recognize it. Confidence trains you to recognize these moments, to step forward when others hesitate, and to trust that you have what it takes to succeed. It is the bridge between possibility and reality, the force that transforms potential into achievement. When you live with confidence, you do not merely wait for opportunity to find you. You become the person who creates, attracts, and welcomes it. So, embrace your confidence as a gift, not only to yourself, but to the world. Stand tall in your abilities, speak boldly your ideas, and pursue your goals with unwavering faith in your own power. The world will respond, not always immediately, but in ways that reward persistence, courage, and self-belief. Confidence is not about arrogance. It is about recognition of your own worth And in that recognition, the universe opens doors that fear could never unlock. Step forward, trust yourself, and let your quiet power illuminate the path to the opportunities that await, knowing that every act of belief in yourself brings the life you have imagined closer into reach. The way you carry yourself speaks long before your words are heard. Every step you take, every lift of your chin, every straightening of your shoulders tells a story about who you are, even before you speak a single word. Posture is more than physical stance. It is the outward reflection of the confidence within. When you walk through the world with your head held high, your shoulders back, and your heart open, you are declaring to yourself and to the world that you belong, that you are strong, and that you are unafraid to take up space. Confidence lives in your posture. It is revealed in the way you sit, stand, and move. When fear or doubt creeps into your heart, it often shows in the slump of your shoulders or the lowering of your gaze. But when you embrace the quiet power of self-belief, your posture changes. You rise, not arrogantly, but with dignity, with grace, and with the subtle force of someone who knows their worth. The world reads this language instantly. People respond to the energy you carry, to the courage you exude simply by being present and upright in your own power. Posture is not just a signal to others, it is a signal to yourself. When you straighten, when you lift your gaze and walk tall, you remind yourself that you are capable, resilient, and deserving. Every act of carrying yourself with intention reinforces the belief that you can face challenges, speak your truth, and claim your place. The body and the mind are intertwined, and by commanding your posture, you command your inner strength. Confidence is born not just in thought, but in movement, in the way you inhabit your own form, and in the quiet assertion that you are here and you matter. When you maintain strong, confident posture, opportunities and respect follow naturally. People feel your energy and they respond. You become a presence that invites attention, trust, and acknowledgement. But more importantly, you feel it yourself. Each moment you hold yourself with care and courage reinforces the knowledge that you are enough, that you are prepared, and that you are a force to be reckoned with. This is the silent dialogue between your soul and the world, one that speaks louder than words ever could. So, let your posture tell the story of your strength. Stand tall when the world tries to push you down. Walk with assurance when uncertainty surrounds you. Sit with dignity when challenges attempt to unsettle your spirit. In every movement, in every gesture, let the world see the quiet power within you. Your posture is more than an image. It is a reflection of your soul, your courage, and your confidence. When you carry yourself with intention, with grace, and with pride, you are telling the world and reminding yourself that you are capable, worthy, and unstoppable. Confidence is not a gift reserved for the few. It is a light that, when ignited, shines beyond the soul that holds it. When you stand tall in your own power, speak boldly from your heart, and walk forward with unwavering belief in yourself, you inspire those around you to do the same. Confidence is contagious. It spreads quietly yet powerfully, touching the lives of friends, strangers, and even those who may never speak your name. When others witness courage in action, they remember that courage exists not only in stories, but in living, breathing, ordinary people who choose to rise. Every act of self-belief sends ripples outward. When you claim your voice, when you act with conviction, and when you embrace your own worth, you teach others that they too are capable of doing the same. You show them that fear does not have to dictate their choices, that failure is not the end, and that stepping into their own light is possible. The way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, the dignity with which you pursue your dreams, all of these become lessons without words, powerful demonstrations that confidence is not arrogance, but authenticity. Confidence inspires because it is visible in moments of vulnerability and strength alike. It is present when you take a risk, even knowing the outcome is uncertain. It is revealed when you rise after falling, when you continue to speak even when your voice trembles, and when you choose action over hesitation. Those who witness such acts are reminded of their own latent courage, and they begin to see that life does not require perfection to be meaningful, only the willingness to try. In this way, confidence is a gift both to yourself and to the world. When you embrace confidence fully, it becomes a beacon. People are drawn to it not because it demands attention, but because it embodies possibility. Confidence says to the world, you can stand here too. You can speak your truth. You can rise despite the odds. It ignites hope in others and encourages them to trust their own strength. The impact of this cannot be measured in applause or recognition. It is felt in hearts and minds, in quiet reflections, and in small acts of courage that multiply across lives. So let your confidence be fearless, generous, and radiant. Live in a way that demonstrates the beauty of self-belief. Take steps forward, speak boldly, and embrace your dreams with determination. In doing so, you awaken the same courage in others, planting seeds that grow into forests of possibility. Remember, your life is not lived in isolation. It is a mirror in which others see what is possible. When you shine with confidence, you illuminate the path not only for yourself, but for everyone who longs to rise. Confidence inspires, and in inspiring, it creates a legacy far greater than any single achievement. It creates a world where courage, self-belief, and hope are limitless,